Hello.
Hello. Hi, Brian Wheat calling in.
Brian, how are you, my friend?
Hey, man, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I happy to get you on the phone. Can't wait for you guys to get to town and we'll jam another kick-ass Tesla show.
Right on.
Now,
Looking forward to it.
you and Frank were the driving factors behind this band way back in Sacramento in 1981. Were you guys like high school buddies, old school friends? How'd you guys hook up?
Uh, he's about 3 years younger than me, so I was playing in a little band that was playing backyard kegger parties, and my brother actually met Frank first, and he told me about this young kid that I was 18, he was 15, that was this whiz on guitar, and I met him one day at a place where I was rehearsing with my band, and his mother was dating the guy that owned the rehearsal place. And he said, "Hey, my girlfriend's son wants to jam with you guys." And it was Frank, and he got out of his mom's car with his Marshall and his Stratocaster, and the guys. I was the youngest guy in the band I was playing in, so he was maybe 10 years younger than these guitar players, and he just came in and blew them away. And that's how we met, and then from there we decided we would make a band together, and we've been together ever since.
Yeah, and not like he's not talked about in high regard by any means, but he is probably one of the most underrated guitar players, especially from the 80s era of big guitar. And he's one of the best there ever is,
Absolutely, he's one of the most underrated guitar players, beyond a shadow of a doubt.
And he was up against the biggest in the world, and you write something like "Love Song." That guitar intro, my hair still stands on end every time I hear it. How did it feel when he brought that to you, and you guys were writing, putting that together in the studio?
It was great. I mean, but you got to realize, for me, I had recognized what a talent Frank was when he walked into the ice factory where we were rehearsing. So I wasn't surprised, and he still doesn't surprise me. He played me some new music yesterday or 2 days ago that he's doing that is just amazing. He's just, I don't know why he never got the recognition that he should, but he never did. But he is one of the best kept secrets in rock and roll.
And he's your best kept secret, so I guess it's still kind of working out for you.
Well, he's my partner in crime, isn't he?
Yeah. And you and he formed the band in 81, and you had a couple members in and out. And then 1984, it kind of all came together when you got in touch with Jeff Keith somehow, and he became the voice.
Yeah, Jeff joined in 83, and then Tommy joined in 84, and Troy joined, I think, the end of 84. So the original Tesla band, what you know as Tesla, has been together since 84. Me and Frank started in 81, and Jeff came along in 83.
And he's got that iconic voice.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Again, talk about underrated. He's one of the underrated singers of that genre in that time period. Not a lot of people talk about him. They talk about, Steven Tyler or Axl Rose or, people like that, not Jeff Keith. So he's another one that's underrated like Frank is.
Well, unfortunately for Steven Tyler, his voice didn't last anymore, but Jeff's is still going strong, so that's a note in the plus column.
Absolutely. But, to Steven Tyler, I mean, he is 76 years old. Jeff's only 66. So Steven had his voice until about a year ago. And then, that's the thing. People ask me, about making a new record, this, that, and the other. And it's like, Jeff is 66 and he still maintained his voice. But I don't know when it goes, it goes. And I think for us to do a new album, we'd have to dedicate a year to being in a studio. And I don't want to do that, or we don't want to do that, when that's a year we can still be out playing for people, because we don't know how much time is left. You know, when you're 20, you can sit there and plan for the future 10 years from now. When you're 66, because Jeff's 66, you know, how long is he going to be able to sing at the level he's singing at?
That makes sense because you guys are obviously still putting out music, but I like how you're going. We're going to spend our energy on tour and playing what we have live instead of, you know, a whole bunch of time locked up in a studio and waste his talent because you never know when it'll go.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, we still put out a couple singles a year, so there's always something new. It's just not full-length albums.
Yeah, I was just checking out one of your most recent ones, All About Love, and obviously the title kind of evokes it a little bit, but even the imagery and the graphics and stuff, it's kind of a throwback to some of the 60s vibe. Is that what you guys were in your headspace there when you were getting this one?
Yeah, absolutely, especially with the artwork. And, you know, as far as the song goes, I think it sounds like a classic Tesla song. Whether it's, you know, What You Give or Love Song or Way It Is or something, it would fall in that category.
Speaking of some of your older songs, you guys had some super success with a couple of covers, obviously Little Susie and then Signs from Five Man Acoustical Jam. What makes you guys say, I like this cover enough to want to put it on one of our albums?
It just, I mean, for one, we started out playing covers when we were kids, so we've always liked covers, right?
Yeah.
If a song speaks to us, or we think we like a song and we play it and we feel that we've put, you know, our Tesla spin on it, that's usually what happens. So, like with Susie, I mean, the original Susie doesn't sound anything like the version we did, except maybe the lyrics.
Yeah.
And Signs was, you know, when we were doing the Five-Man Acoustic Jam shows, we all picked a cover because we didn't have enough material of our own that would fit that kind of acoustic format. So, you know, I picked like We Can Work It Out by the Beatles, and Frank picked Truckin' by the Grateful Dead, and Jeff was the one that actually picked Signs.
Oh.
And then, you know, like, the other thing is this year, Record Store Day, I think, is next month, and we're putting out Volume 2 of our reel-to-reel records we did. We did 2 records called Reel-to-Reel in 2006, and they were all covers from the 70s. There was 24 songs. There were 2 volumes, and they never came out on vinyl. And last Record Store Day in April, we put out Reel-to-Reel 1. This April comes out Reel-to-Reel 2 on vinyl, because they were never on vinyl. They were only on CD. So covers have always been a big thing. We've done lots of covers. We did a version of The Ocean by Led Zeppelin. We did a version of Thank You by Led Zeppelin that was on a record. We did that song I Love You by the Climax Blues Band was on one of our records. We've always embraced covers, you know, things that Jeff sings well and things that we like.
That makes total sense. And I mean, that's one of the funnest parts about, because I've done a little stuff in a band, obviously nowhere near the level you have, but just playing a song that you know everybody already loves, that it's just already a built-in hit. It's just more fun sometimes that way.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, we're not just musicians, we're fans as well. So if you like Van Halen, so do we. If you like Led Zeppelin, so do we. So does Alfalfa, my dog. He just said he likes Led Zeppelin. You know what I mean? Or if you like the Beatles, so do we. I mean, and so that, I think it just shows that we're still fans as well, you know?
Yeah. I know that you've mentioned before, Tesla back in the 80s was, to some people, lumped into that hair metal glam category, and there's a lot of great music that's considered hair metal glam from the 80s that, you know, we still love, we still play, the bands are still out there, but Tesla was always a step more. Like, you know, the Black Crowes are just a straight up rock band. I think Tesla is just a straight up rock band.
I think Tesla probably has more in common with the Black Crowes than we would some of the other bands that they call hair bands.
Yeah.
It used to drive me nuts because I used to take it when people were saying in kind of a derogatory, condescending way, "Oh, they're a hair band," which we never were. We were no more a hair band than the Black Crowes are.
Right.
I mean, Black Crowes and Tesla are both blues-based rock bands. We both, are heavily rooted in blues-based English rock. I mean, Tesla was like Humble Pie or Bad Company or Led Zeppelin, with two guitar players.
Yeah.
Or AC/DC or UFO. I mean, those were the things we grew up on. We weren't of that thing, but they want to put us in there, and I'm over it now. It doesn't bother me. It used to really piss me off, but these days, last 10 years, I've just kind of said, okay, whatever you want to call us, as long as you're calling us something and talking about us and coming and seeing us play, then I don't care. Call us whatever you want to call us.
Well, and, luckily, I guess that quote-unquote hair band stuff is having a bit of a resurgence, so that's kind of carrying you guys positively and negatively, carrying you with it, so you're getting a chance to play more live shows because it's becoming popular all over again.
I guess I wasn't aware it's popular. I didn't know there was a resurgence. I mean, Tesla have kind of been doing the same thing we've always been doing for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Playing, anywhere from 60 to 100 shows a year, depending on, how we feel and what the climate is. But I mean, is hair bands making a comeback? I mean, which ones? What would you consider a hair band?
Well, Bret Michaels and Poison are going back out. You've got the Rat sort of reformed. They're hitting the road again. I mean, some of those bigger bands from the Sunset Strip era are coming back out on the road.
Was Guns N' Roses a hair band?
I always thought Guns N' Roses was more of the bridge between taking hair and kind of turning it back into just straight up rock, in my opinion, but...
But I mean, there are photos of Guns N' Roses where Axl's hair's all wild and ratted, and they're wearing makeup and shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know, hair. I mean, when you say hair bands to me, it's like, what's the difference? I mean, when you say Rat, right? Who their record came out in 84?
Yeah, I think
there was no hair band term then. I mean. The Scorpions were out in 84. They had a huge record. Van Halen came out. Van Halen's 1984 was a huge album. Was Van Halen a hair band? They had long hair. You know what I mean? It's kind of a slight in a way that, which is the thing that kind of annoys me about it. It's like, well, how about we're just all playing rock music?
I think Alfalfa's down with that one. You're all playing rock music.
Yeah, Alfalfa. Do you like the Beatles? Huh? I mean, I'm a Beatle fan. On the eighth day, God created the Beatles.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're not a Beatles fan, could you actually call yourself a music fan? Because those guys just wrote some amazing melodies and chord progressions. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I loved how I was looking at your website just a minute ago, and one of the first things you see on your website is. If you're looking to read about the car, you've come to the wrong place. We're Tesla the band. We've been rocking out for over 40 years. So since you can't copyright Nikola Tesla's name, have you had any sort of issues when the car company was launched years ago?
No issues. And listen, I like Elon Musk, so it's not I got no problem with Elon Musk. I think he's a very smart man. It's just that, the only difference is before the car came out, if I called somebody and I'd say, yeah, this is Brian Wheat from Tesla, they would pretty much know I was Brian Wheat from the band Tesla.
Yeah.
But now when I call people and I say, this is Brian Wheat from Tesla, they say, oh, the car company? I say, yeah, I'm the president. They get it. Some people, I'll tell some younger people, I'll say, they say, what do you guys say? Playing a rock band. They say, oh, what's it called? And I'll go, Tesla. They go, oh, the car? I'll say, no. We were named after the inventor. 20 years before the car, 25 years before the car.
Yeah, other than Nikola himself, you guys definitely came first. So
Yeah, but it's cool. I'm down with it all.